Emergent, an Indian startup known for its vibe coding platform, has launched Wingman, a messaging-first autonomous AI agent, as it expands into a growing category of software that runs in the background to complete tasks, popularized by tools like OpenClaw and Claude from Anthropic. The Bengaluru-based startup initially gained attention for its vibe coding platform, which competes with tools like Cursor and Replit, and lets users without technical backgrounds build full-stack applications via natural language prompts. With Wingman, Emergent is now pushing beyond creation into execution, aiming to let AI agents handle routine tasks across tools and workflows. Pehel announced on Tuesday that it raised $5 billion in fresh capital to back late-stage companies. The venture firm told Bloomberg that $4 billion will go to its late-stage Leaders Fund, for which it hopes to cut at least 20 checks, averaging $200 million each. Pehel is looking to invest in companies building AI-powered technology, with a focus on software, hardware, robotics, defense tech, and data center infrastructure. Glidways, a San Francisco-based startup developing personal autonomous pods, designed to operate on dedicated 2-meter-wide lanes in cities, has raised $170 million in a Series C funding round. The round was co-led by Suzuki Motor Corporation, ACS Group, and Costler Ventures. Existing investors Mitsui Chemicals and Gates Frontier, and new investor Obayashi Corporation also participated. The Swedish government said Russian government-linked hackers attempted to disrupt the operations at one of the country's thermal power plants last year. Sweden said that, while the hackers were unsuccessful, hybrid attacks that extend beyond cyberspace are becoming more dangerous. Sweden's Minister of Civil Defense, Carl-Oskar Bolin, said during a press conference on Wednesday that the attempted attack happened in early 2025, and attributed the incident to hackers with connections to Russian intelligence and security services. After selling its shoe brand and assets last month for $39 million, Allbirds is pivoting to AI. Of course, the company is also changing its name, since the footwear brand Allbirds was part of the sale. Introducing Newbird AI, a fully integrated GPU-as-a-service and AI-native cloud solutions provider, the company announced via its investor relations site on Wednesday. The rebranded AI company also announced a $50 million investment from an undisclosed institutional investor in the form of a convertible financing facility. Airwallex, the Australian fintech that has spent a decade quietly building global payments infrastructure, is moving into in-person payments. The move deepens its rivalry with Stripe across the payments stack, and enables the startup to directly aim at Square and Adyen on one of the last major battlegrounds in financial technology. Airwallex is launching a point-of-sale product that it says does something its rivals' offerings don't: allow businesses to accept in-person payments in multiple countries via a single platform, without onboarding local vendors in every market. Motorola has filed a lawsuit in India against social media platforms and content creators over posts it alleges are defamatory, raising concerns it could dampen critical coverage of the company, experts say. The lawsuit, filed in a Bengaluru court and obtained by TechCrunch, names platforms including X, YouTube, and Instagram, along with dozens of content creators, and seeks takedown of the content as well as broader restraint on what it describes as false or defamatory material related to the company's devices. VCs love to chase after the hottest startups, but startups aren't always interested in selling more shares. So it is with Anthropic, sources tell Bloomberg. VCs have been offering the OpenAI competitor a preemptive funding round that would value the company at $800 billion or more, almost matching, or perhaps even surpassing, its rival. In February, OpenAI closed a record-breaking $110 billion round that gave it an $852 billion post-money valuation. Just a few weeks earlier, Anthropic announced a $30 billion round, which, in another era, would have been record-breaking too, at a $380 billion valuation. K Electric's KE, stated in a disclosure to the Pakistan Stock Exchange, PSX, on Wednesday that Shahryar Kishti had been appointed as the new chairman of the Power Utilities Board of Directors. We are pleased to notify you that following the election of directors during the extraordinary general meeting held on April 2, 2026, the Board of Directors, in its meeting held on April 15, 2026, has appointed Shahryar Kishti as the chairman of the board. The disclosure, seen by Don Reed. Islamabad, projecting Pakistan's fiscal deficit at around 3.2% of the gross domestic product, GDP, and a slightly declining primary surplus from 2.5 PC, the International Monetary Fund, IMF, has advised phasing out fiscally draining fuel subsidies, addressing contingent liabilities and broadening the tax base for credible medium-term sustainability. In its twice-a-year Fiscal Monitor 2026, the IMF projected Pakistan's revenue to have already peaked with a downward but stable outlook in the medium term ending 2031. This would thus lower public debt, yet was significantly higher than required under the Fiscal Responsibility and Debt Limitation Act, FRDLA 2005, the IMF indicated, as it anticipated government expenditures to remain stubborn.